Okay, we will call this meeting to order. We want to welcome everybody here this evening, and now we will have our city clerk take our roll call for us.
Commissioner Maxon.
Here.
Commissioner York.
Here.
Vice Mayor Doan.
Here.
Mayor Van Oster.
Here. Tonight, our invocation will be given by Pastor Joel Thompson of the Coffeyville Nazarene Church. We welcome you here tonight, Pastor Thompson, and thank you for leading us in prayer to begin our meeting.
Thank you. There's a good crowd tonight. I feel like I should pass around an offering plate.
There you go.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, city officials, friends and fellow residents, thank you for allowing me to be here tonight representing our community churches. Shall we pray? Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight, and God, we just want to thank you for all the things that you do in our lives. Thank you for all the beauty that we see as we look around this town. God, I want to thank you for the city leaders and them being willing to come together and just give of their time and their talents to do whatever they can to make our city a better place. God, I thank you for bringing me to this community. God, as we go into tonight, God, I just pray that you are with our mayor and our commissioners and our city leaders, and God, just help them to make good decisions that are pleasing to you. God, last but not least, God, I want to thank you, and I want to lift up and pray for every member in our community. God, help us to all come together, put aside our bad habits, our addictive natures, and God, just help us to work together and make this one of the best communities around. Help us to continue to make this a community that we're all proud to live in, proud to call home. God, thank you again for all these things. We invite you to join with us tonight. And God, it's in your name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Pastor.
Okay, we will now have review of the agenda. Does anybody have any changes to the proposed agenda? If not, we will move on to our consent agenda. We have the City Commission meeting minutes from Tuesday, April 27th, 2021. We have the second reading of ordinance S-21-02, which is an ordinance to allow alcohol to be served on 9th Street during the Coffeyville Chamber of Commerce Hops Around Town Beer Festival to be held on October 9th, 2021. We have the resolution R-21-25, which is a resolution to execute a mortgage release in favor of Baroness Properties, LLC. And then we have appropriation ordinance for 2021, number AO-21-09 in the amount of $1,067,711, and 41 cents. Do we have any questions over these four items or anything anybody would like to bring up?
So, Mayor, just to go over some of the fundings in this warrant register. So, there was a GO refunding bond series 2020 in the amount of $27,968. There was health benefits in the amount of $71,414.60 paid out. A sales tax distribution to Coffeyville Regional Medical Center in the amount of $65,546. A payment to Jeff Graham Construction for the 10th Street sidewalk construction and the Highland Road construction project in the amount of $93,050. Let's see. Kansas Department of Revenue, the city sales tax for $55,000, well, it's a total of $56,843. Health premiums to American Health for $40,555. So those were some of the larger ticket items that we had on this particular warrant.
Okay. Did you say the payroll? I may have missed it.
Oh, I didn't. It was
It's
400
400 and some thousand?
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
okay.
Sure
I'm gonna
was.
mix that too.
Yep.
Because that was a little more than usual. Okay. Commissioner Maxon, do you have anything?
No.
Commissioner Dunn? Okay. If not, I will move to approve items 1 through 4 of the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion is made by Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Commissioner York to approve items 1 through 4 of the consent agenda as presented. Commissioner York,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Doan,
Aye.
Mayor Van Oster,
Aye.
Commissioner Maxon.
Aye.
Our next item is comments by the public. Any citizen desiring to address the commission shall be recognized. Please advance to the podium, state his or her name and address for the record. Comment shall be limited to 3 minutes unless extended by a vote of the majority of the commission. The commission does not hear matters involving litigation or city personnel. The commission does not take action on subjects not on the agenda unless unusual or hardship conditions exist. Citizens may address the commission on agenda items as they are brought to the floor. Do we have any items here tonight to be brought up that are not on the agenda? Yes? Can you come forward and give your name and address, please?
My name is Melissa Flippin, and the property that I own is 2601 South Walnut.
Mm-hmm.
I own 11 acres, a little over 11 acres at that address, and over 7 of it is deemed agriculture. I keep receiving letters from the city that says that I have to cut it or they're going to come and cut it for me. I received one of these letters on May 3rd that said I had to mow it, which it was mowed previously the week before. But the city showed up on May 7th and mowed it and weed-eated it. I came here and talked to Mr. Manley, and he said that if there was one weed on my property that was over 12 inches long, they could come and they can mow and they can weed eat, and there's nothing I can do about it. Now, at that time, the property right next to me, they hadn't even mowed once. Their grass was taller than mine, and yet they came and mowed mine, and it's agriculture to begin with. So I used to bale it, and we used to always get it cut before fair time came. We always made sure it was nice and ready for that. So I would like to see if there's a way that I can go back to making a profit from the land that I own and not have to keep fighting with the city over this ordinance. Because the last time they did this, it cost me $2,500 for them to come and mow and weed eat. And this time they came and mowed and weed eat, and the property didn't even need mowed. They were just after some weeds. And I have pictures that show there's weeds out here at this property that are over 12 inches tall. The grass is mowed, but the weeds are tall because of the weather. All along the main highways and down through Main Street is the same thing. Even in front of the fire station, there's weeds standing there that they missed when they mowed. So I just want to know why I was singled out, because there wasn't another property in that area that was mowed the same day mine was mowed. So, and I have pictures and everything to show the letter, whatever the city wants.
Do you have copies of that?
Yes.
Okay. Can we have that, please?
Yes, sir.
So is that property considered in the city limits? And how is it zoned? How is it zoned? You said it's agriculture. Okay.
Commercial agriculture. Yes, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 620-330-3470. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Anybody else? Okay.
Thomas Darbro. I'm here in reference to property management, which is located at 1307 West 11th. Evidently, today's a code enforcement day. I have a quick question, if I might. The landlord license, which was enacted a couple years ago, specifically requires that any owners who don't live within 60 miles designate a local agent. Can anybody tell me what the purpose of the local agent is on the landlord license?
I would imagine to have a contact here locally that
Local.
can be gotten a hold of, but that's just speculation on my part, Thomas.
Okay, so the reason I ask this, we manage 168 properties. There are 189 separate units with 54 owners. I've got them all the way out to California, South Dakota, all over the place. What we can do for those owners, we can start and stop utility services, we can set up landlord licensing, arrange inspections, do repairs that the city wants done on new properties. We can sign leases with tenants. We can terminate leases with tenants, all without having the owner sign any additional paperwork. We can hire contractors, do repairs, whether they're a couple $100s or a couple $1,000s. I can file for evictions on those tenants if something goes wrong for those owners. However, what I have recently found out this year, beginning, didn't have a problem with it last year, didn't have a problem with it the year before, didn't have a problem with it when code enforcement was under the fire department. This year, I can do all of that, but what I can't do is get a copy of a letter about high grass. Not asking for it to be sent to me, but if I have an owner that calls me, says I got a letter about high grass. If I reach out to the city, what the city tells me is we can't tell you anything about that. If you want a copy of that letter, contact that owner. If I get a letter or a call from an owner saying that they've got some sort of debris that needs taken care of, that a tenant has thrown on the property, same thing. I've got to reach out to an owner who doesn't live here and has hired me so they don't have to deal with these properties and ask them to somehow or another get me a copy of the letter, because even if I come up here, the city refuses to provide me a copy of that letter so I can hire a contractor to go fix these problems that code enforcement tells me there are, or won't tell me there are, but tells the owner. I got curious because at some point in the past I remember hearing that Topeka was a great example of how code enforcement is supposed to work and the city ordinances and the building codes. So I reached out to Topeka. I was surprised to find out Topeka does not require landlord licensing for rental units at all. We thought that was kind of odd, so I reached out to Wichita. Wichita does not require landlord licensing for rental units at all. Two of the biggest cities, all that's left is Kansas City. So I reach out to Kansas City. Kansas City does require licensing. So I asked to talk to code enforcement, and I said, if I had a property that I manage there, and you sent out a letter, would I be able to get a copy of that as the local designated agent? They said, absolutely. We wouldn't send you one automatically, but if you reached out to us, we'd give you a copy so you could fix the problem. The city of Coffeyville refuses to do that. The best case scenario, in my opinion, to fix this would be to get an email when they send an owner a letter. Then when the owner calls me, I tell them, yeah, the city works with us great. They sent me an email. I got the contractor out there. It's taken care of. You don't have to worry about a thing. Worst case scenario, they call me and I say, sure, I'll call them. I'll get a copy of the letter and I'll get it taken care of. Right now scenario, I'm sorry, the city refuses to work with us. Please send me a copy of that letter. I expressed that this didn't make any sense to me. The response I got from the engineering department, contact the county, have your name added to the tax roll on all of those properties. So change 189 units so that your name is on the tax roll and the tax statement goes to you, and then you'll get a copy of the notice. Or reach out to your 54 owners and have all of them sign additional paperwork designating you as the local agent, just like they already did in the license paperwork. So I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on and try to find some way to get this to work.
I appreciate you making us aware of that, Tom.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I might mention the landlord license. Sorry. The landlord license is not for code violations.
Right.
It's for safety and health violations. So code violations, that's why it's sent to the owner of the property. It is one of those that the landlord license that they have is because a health situation has come to come to the attention of, and that could be anywhere from water, damage that's not being fixed by the landlord. So that's why it was given a local for the landlord license. Like say the other, and it expresses in Kansas statute that the owner of the property receives the notice. And that's why the two are separate, because like say there is the tenant's rights, that their health and safety, and they can, by when the commission passed that, and I'm not sure, it's prior to my time, is that they can go to some enforcement and to get that corrected. And so they are two different things. They're not together, and that's why they're treated separately.
If memory serves, I think it was 5 or 6 years ago, actually, that was put in place, but don't quote me on that, I'm not sure.
And I can't remember, but that's the difference between the two, because that was passed due to living conditions of the tenant.
I would ask that we take a look at and see if there isn't a way to have those property owners designate a contact person on those forms, to where that would handle that.
And that
So,
might be whenever they sign their property, that
to a property
They do a
management place, right,
consent.
and they consent to have them receive
See
that,
that
any
information.
notifications that way, but
Kind of
it'd be a simple fix that way.
Yeah.
It's kind of a given. If you hire a property manager, they're going to manage your property in all aspects. So I don't see what the holdup would be on notification of
well, we
managers.
just, according to the Kansas statutes, they are treated differently.
Right. But
They
the
are
property
treated
owner would
different.
actually have to say, hey, city, this is my designated.
So in other
person,
words,
right?
they
Code
assume all
violations.
responsibility.
Right, right.
They could do that on the city level, just,
Well, that's what, we'll check into it,
All
but
right.
that is why
That's
there's
all
two
I'm asking,
different,
just take a look
two
at it and
different
see
levels.
what's going on.
See what
of
it
what we're
takes.
talking
make it
about.
all
easy
on
so we can
one
get
deal.
things taken care of. and
Yep.
Easier on you guys too.
Yep,
I just had one final question or comment, if I could.
sure.
On here, it doesn't say anything about what the designation is for. It simply states that they're designating a local agent.
Okay.
And then I was curious because I had been told something about the state ordinances. And I'm not a lawyer, I never went to law school. But I pulled up all of the ordinances that were referenced in all the letters that I could find from the city. And almost every one that mentions notifying an owner also has the words, any agent of the owner as well in the wording.
Yep. So give them an opportunity to take a look at it.
care of
see
it,
if we
and we'll
can,
get 'em
uh,
taken
get it
care of.
addressed to your satisfaction. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Okay, we will now move on to our regular agenda items. The first one is our public hearing, special presentation, and proclamations. We have Fire Chief Billy Cockman here tonight, who is here to present the Fire Department Grant Award from the Farm Credit Services of America.
Evening, Mr. Mayor, council, public.
Good evening.
I'd like to see everybody here. It looks as-
Yes.
Let me turn my back a little bit. I know I'm supposed to be on TV, but I like talking to everybody. So, first of all, I want to say how grateful we are from the Frontier Farm Credit Union for donating or giving us a grant to help buy some supplies and some much-needed equipment for the fire department. Their special grant was called the Working Here Fund. So we're going to put them to work and definitely use that equipment that they gave us. $1,650 that they gave us for a grant is used for it's a rescue harness that we're going to take over. That from 30 years that we've been doing things a certain way, this is going to improve our
speed, it's going to improve our safety, it's going to improve everything for different kind of rescues, such as if somebody falls in the creek over there, we can put this on them and pull them up. It'd be a lot quicker than trying to get down there with a Stokes basket. If they get hung in a grain or a silo, if they're in a manhole, anything like that. To be honest with you, they've had something similar to this in EMS called an AED for years. When people got in a car accident, they would put this on them and keeps the stability and then pull them out. So I'm sure I'll find some kind of neat inventions and ways to use this other than that. But this has been, since I've got here, we've been looking at something like this. It's just been a little bit out of our budget, so we can't thank them enough for doing that. And I can't thank my grant team that I put together for writing our grants. We probably got 10 more grants out there, and if we only get half or we only get one more grant, we're happy.
Right.
But we're looking forward to this year for the grants. Once again, I want to thank my grant writing team. We've verbally been told about the grant in September that we're going to be getting for a new truck and trailer, so it's about $114,000. So we're moving forward. I just want everybody to know the fire department, we're moving forward, we're getting excited and ready to roll. Anybody have any questions or comments?
Just
Wonderful
thank
job,
you.
Chief.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
putting that grant team together was very good. Very good idea of yours.
Yes,
Like
ma'am.
you said, you've gotten several very wonderful
Yes, ma'am,
additions
we're
to the fire
excited, and we're going to
department.
continue. And that does save the public, and it saves our budget money.
Yes.
So everything that we get from grant, we can put back into the budget and keep rolling, get the city back on track, so.
Okay,
it.
that's good.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yes.
very much. Okay. All right. Next item, new business. The first one, we have discussion and action to make an appointment to the Planning Commission. Our applicant tonight is Jolene Swindell, and she is here, correct? Okay, would you like to come up and, Jolene, and kind of introduce and tell us a bit about yourself and why you would like to be on our planning and zoning board?
Hi, my name is Jolene Swindell, and my husband and I moved back to Coffeyville about 5 years ago. And we own a church, New Vision World Ministries, here in town. And my husband used to work for the city, and I used to work for the school district. We work for some people that own rentals. We own rentals ourselves. And so I would just like to be part of the committee to bring new things to Coffeyville and just kind of help with the betterment of our community.
Okay.
So.
Very good, very good. Well, we appreciate that. I am going to move to appoint Jolene to the Planning Commission. Right now, there are two different terms. There's January 1, one expires January 1 of this next year, 2022, but there's another one that goes till January 1st of 2024, and I'm going to ask if you would be so kind as to take the one that expires in 2024.
Okay, I sure will.
Okay, appreciate it. Okay.
I will second that motion.
Motion is made by Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Commissioner York to appoint Jolene Swindell to the Planning Commission for a term expiring January 1st, 2024. Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Maxon.
Aye.
Commissioner York.
Aye. That leaves us still with 2 openings on that board, is that correct?
Yes, 2
Yeah.
more.
So if anybody's interested in getting involved and being on the planning commission, it's a great opportunity. So-
Thank you
To
for
do so.
volunteering.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
much
Thank you, ma'am.
appreciated, very, very much. Okay. Moving on to item number 2, under new business, we have ordinance S-21-03, which is an ordinance to rezone Field Kinley High School. We have our city manager, Mark Hall, to make comments, and also here is Dr. Craig Carell, our superintendent of USD 445, to make comments also.
Mayor Commissioners, I guess is, I can start in trying to keep this short and to the point and give a little history and insight that, on April 6th, there was, a petition before the Planning and Zoning Commission. In that, there is a requirement by state statute is that there is a comment period or protest period. It was at that time that the school had sent an engineer but not a representative to address the public. So the Planning and Zoning Commission, understanding the importance of the project, moved that to the May 4th meeting, which was last week. It is one of those that there was in attendance, but like I say, the first one, there was no, in that month period, any additional information given. It is, the meeting was held, and of course, you have before you the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Board. It was at that time, it was based on the information that was given and provided. There is what we have is in R1 area, which is residential 1. It does have restrictions from parking lots. The original petition was to move that to a parking lot, not understanding that the intent or use of the parking lot, and so that why it was determined to go C4. That would allow the parking lot and move it forward. There would be a conditional use attached to it. The reason in Kansas statutes, there's a lot of things to consider, and it does say that the suitability, and that is part of the Planning and Zoning Commission's duty, is to take all these in account and to discuss those during the comment period to get clarity on the situation. So based on that, it was that you can imagine in R1 if somebody's decided just to put a parking lot next to you. We have had that happen, and I was going to say that there was prior, and the parking lot was across the street from their parking, from the church, and that was zoned. There was a protest period, but that was zoned C4, and it was they were there for the comment period and answered any questions, and that was brought before the commission and passed. It is one of those, after looking into this further, that there is certain things that are allowable if there is an understanding, and that is one that on a school property, if it is, for general public use, then that would follow the guidelines in which they thought was to suit the situation, and to zone C4 and then conditional use. But it does allow that if there is, and not knowing, if it is for staff, if it is for administration, and then not to say that there can't be a visitor to administration, it does allow that is simply a petition. So I think it is, they were looking at the information that were given and making a decision that based on what and the suitability of it, and that led to their vote, and this is going now before you. With the information that, learning additional and asking more questions, it is one of those that this is designed, and unless they want to change that before you, but it would be designed for the purpose of teachers and administration as a primary. Of course, there would be, visitors to administration. There would be handicap parking. And with that, I would like to make a recommendation to the commission that upon this additional information obtained, I would recommend that the rezoning application submitted by USD 445 be tabled, and USD 445 proceed with a permit application to further their project. And that does allow them, there will be setbacks in those conditions in a permit process, but it would allow to move this under the understanding, after gathering this information, that this is the primary purpose of this. And you can imagine a church or a school, as they grow through the years, they're going to need additional parking. And that would only require a permit. So with this all said and done, and, you know, be it confusion or whatever, I think that would be my recommendation to the commission, how to proceed, and they be allowed to do their parking lot. And you can welcome to ask them if that's their primary intent of the parking lot. So that's my comment.
All right, thank you, Mark. Okay, Craig?
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners.
Good evening.
That is the intent of the parking lot, so that probably changes a little bit of what I was going to talk about, or really reducing the amount that I would talk about. I don't know if you've seen this specific picture of what the parking lot is. I know there was some misperceptions of what the parking lot would be. I think some people envisioned the entire front lawn being parking, and obviously we want to keep the view of the building intact as it is. We have beautiful buildings here in Coffeyville, and we want to keep that intact. So you'll see the parking lot there. The primary function of this parking lot is for staff. There are some ADA spots there you'll see on the north end of that parking lot, and then a few places for visitors, but primarily staff. So I appreciate that, Mr. Hall. I am here for any questions. I also have our engineer and my head of facilities here as well, if you have any specific questions you'd like to ask regarding the parking lot.
The only question I had, Craig, was when you look at the drawing that came from our engineering department, next to the parking lot, to the west of the parking lot, it shows a detention basin. Can you address what that is?
I could try based on what I've heard our engineer say, but I'd rather just have our engineer come up and he
Okay.
can address that for you,
Yep,
Mr.
yep.
York.
Hi, my name is Kyle Kippis. I'm with Caw Valley Engineering. It is city ordinance that requires permanent water quality practices and also mitigation of the 10-year storm event, so that the detention basin incorporates those water quality elements and also does detain for the 10-year event. It's fairly relaxed requirements as far as some other municipalities in the the state of Kansas, but it is shallow depression, about 2 feet deep, and it's contained between the parking lot and that next sidewalk over.
So it's not going to hold water? Is it?
It will not permanently hold water. It will release it over a few-hour period.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't have those calculations in
Yeah,
front of me.
Because
But
with excessive rainfall, it's going to drain
Right.
there instead in the streets.
correct.
So my concern was from the drawing, it looked like it'd be a ponding area there, and so then you get into mosquito issues and
Nope.
all the hazmat that comes off of a parking area, right, with the antifreeze and oil drips and all that good stuff, so.
It's
Yeah.
it's designed to slope at 2%,
Okay.
and it will drain. So once the water moves through, it will be done. It's not designed to retain it for any period of time. Just slow it down.
Okay.
Somebody else have any questions over it?
Well, I'm going to take this opportunity while we have everybody here, and I know there's a lot of people here tonight, and I appreciate that, and I'm happy you guys are here. I had a good discussion today with one of the board members, cleared up some misconceptions. I think a lot of this could have been avoided with better communication, maybe more education in what you're applying for. So we could have avoided the going to the Planning and Zoning Commission than to us, opposed to just a variance and a permit. I don't know that that's all one-sided. I don't know if questions are being asked. When somebody applies, what exactly is this being used for? Who's going to be parking there? It gives a better picture of what we have. I know we're working on relationships. We don't need additional strain. I think better communication would be amazing. The discussion I had today was really good. So hopefully in the future, we can move forward, have some more open communication, and kind of get rid of the tension.
And so I would say also, I mean, if the public has questions or concerns or comments on this, I'm sure you would be glad to talk to them. I'm sure the board members would be glad to address that with them as well. So, yep.
Yes, we certainly would.
Yep.
And thank you, Justin. You're right. In hindsight, we might have could have spent a little bit less time working
Yeah.
on this. So just increasing communication is something that we are definitely agreeable to
Yeah.
do. And we appreciate your time this evening.
Absolutely.
And we'll stand for any additional questions if you have any.
Have any, Teresa? Okay. If not, I've got a motion here. Based on the information, on the additional information that has been provided by the city manager, and the understanding that the district's parking lot may proceed based on permit applications rather than a rezoning of the parking lot area, I am going to move to table the rezoning application itself that was submitted by USD 445.
Second.
Motion is made by Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Commissioner York to table the rezoning application submitted by USD 445. Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Maxon.
Aye.
Commissioner York.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I might say they're open at 8 o'clock tomorrow.
And who do they need to speak to?
That would be just right across there, and that would be Thomas and Matt. And that'll be.
All right. Okay. Thank you. We will move on to city manager's report.
Yes,
please.
Mayor and Commissioners, as you're aware, we're getting into the summer season. We'll be moving into next month, and staff is working very hard to be prepared. Everything for the pool is moving forward, so we don't expect any problems. All I can say is they're just working hard, every one of them. You know, it is, you know, fire, we hate for them to work so hard because that means something's happened, but they're doing a great job. And I want to say electric, there's a lot of good things happening around by the city staff, and I know you appreciate them, but I'd like to personally thank them again for all the hard work that they do. We had Appreciation Day, which was last week. Last week, department heads came together, and I'm not saying they're great cooks, but it is one of those that Melissa steered that and put it together. There was department heads. Of course, I'm always going to mention Stephanie. You know, there was Allison. There's a ton of people involved in that. And staff really, from the feedback I got, really appreciated that. And I believe it was two tacos? Three tacos in the meat. I can't believe it. It was actually cooked by us.
Yeah.
It was, I was thinking that you could go to the store and buy that brown stuff and you just microwave it and put it in. But it is one of those that staff truly believes in the betterment of Coffeyville in the future. They truly believe in what you're doing. We have some great things that we hope will come just after the middle of the year. Some announcements. Our housing department, as you're aware, we are having meetings not only with local people, but we are also with federal agencies. So that is all working. We're going to have that coming out party and saying what we're going to do. We're just wanting to get all these things set in motion and then go full throttle to the community. There will be things that for the city commission, and that will be certain incentives that we will look at for housing. It is one of those that we hope to build on those, but it'll be exciting when we can put together not only state, but then we can, and federal, but then we can sit there and do some things locally. So that's all going to be, and that'll be announcements. Of course, it'll have to be approved by the city commission, but they're working hard, and that department is trying to do, good things for the city of Coffeyville. If there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer those. Okay, I'm off easy.
Okay, thank you very, very much, Mark. Okay, on to comments from commissioners and staff. Does anybody have
I had
anything?
a couple of things. So the brown building downtown on 9th Street, on the 3rd floor, on the, be the north-facing facade, there's a window broke out. And you can see if we can get notification to Mr. Mitchell, let him know that he's got a broken window, so.
Okay, we'll notify the owner and apologize. I tend to look down when
Yeah. That's all right. I also want to say thank you to our planning and zoning board members. So this hasn't been an easy process for them to go through, and I do appreciate their efforts and the time and energy they put into that role. These are all voluntary roles, so these folks do this because they care and they want to make our community a better place. And so thank you for your efforts.
I echo that very much. Maxon?
Streets. This was brought up to me, and I said I'd bring it up. In West Coffeyville, we kind of patched some of those edges around the mailboxes that had caved off and did some temporary fixes. I know we're still working on the pavement on the other stretch on Cheyenne, but on 6th and 7th, there are several areas there that the street's just getting in disrepair. Didn't know when we could be able to schedule that or start looking at ways to work on it or what we could do.
Okay, on 6th and 7th?
6th and 7th in West Coffeyville between Cheyenne and Fresno. Okay. And I imagine, I didn't drive through all of them, but all the way over to the Country Club Road. I mean, there's a lot of traffic through there actually. So
Jim's out of town, but he'll be back in next week. And
I know funding is a
Bobby Joe.
Right.
And we'll get an answer for you, and I know probably I'll be on the list.
I know funding is an issue, and if there's just some way we can find that money somewhere, if there's another grant or anything we can apply through the state or however we can do it. So thank you.
We have a lot of needs in the
Yes,
area.
yeah, that's not the only place in town.
Yeah.
But it was brought to me in that area, so I wanted to bring it up tonight.
Absolutely.
All right. Commissioner Roden, do you have anything?
Yes, I do. Thomas, Melissa, thank you for coming forward tonight. Both of you had situations that you're both very passionate about. You both came up, presented yourself very professionally. I can understand if you came up with all your frustration and you didn't have that professionalism, but it is appreciated. And we will look into both your situations. Thank you. A couple school board members still here. I want to thank you for sticking out and staying through the end of the meeting.
Yes.
Please, ladies, if you don't ever hesitate to call any of us, reach out. I'd be more than happy to visit with you guys. So we really do need to work on the communication piece, and I hope it can get better.
Yes.
Mrs.
Any of us will take.
We're all in the same boat here, so the
Yeah.
ones got to get going in the same direction and not keep oaring in circles. So, yeah.
Miss Maples, thank you. I know that it's been trying, and your work is very appreciated. You get paid about as much as we do, so yeah. Thank you. And I've said it before. I'll go around the house. Thank you for being here. The city is blessed to have the city manager that we do, and I try to spread that word as much as I can. I appreciate your work. You get paid a little more than we do, but We do appreciate your hard work and your dedication to the city, so thank you.
Yes.
Well, it's a
Very,
great
very
city,
much.
Thank you.
and you're great to work for.
Well, I try.
Are you still paying for those compliments?
No.
That was just a joke.
I haven't seen a check.
No. And as we approach here at the end of May, in fact, it's the very end of May, we have Memorial Day coming up. So I know the crews are trying very hard out there and mowing. And all of next week's forecast has nothing but rain in it. And I'm sure that will continue for a while, and that's challenging. But I do appreciate what all they try to do. And I know he's out there Memorial Day too, to assist anybody with finding stuff. And that's much, much appreciated.
Well, Bobby Joe, he does. Bobby Joe is our new superintendent, and he does care about the community.
He does.
And he will do everything. And what I've been impressed is push come to shove, he'll do it himself.
Yep. That's
So
how he
it is one of those that he'll do magic and get things done.
You know, we had the boys and girls group in here the other day. Justin and I got to come and speak with these kids. And what a wonderful group of kids they were. And man, they just asked great questions. But
Oh, yeah.
when you talk to our city employees and they say, okay, I've been with the city for 30 years, I've been with the city for, I mean, the longevity of service of our folks is pretty amazing.
Yes, it is. We're very, very fortunate.
And it's not like they make a ton of money to do it either.
No,
So,
no.
it's, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we appreciate their working with us on that matter too. So, which we have budget time coming up, I know.
Yes, we are, which we have the process of funding requests. That will usually, be sometime during the week, usually the first week of July. And then we'll schedule its convenience with the city commission following that. Usually it's the week after. We'll pick a day and time and however you'd like to do that. And I think we've got it where we move quicker because of the format that Stephanie's done. I know we could hand you a bunch of blue bar and, just say, hey, good luck, but she explains, she has notes throughout the budget process, and that way we can sit there and address items and not have to hunt for information. Our goal this year, as with last year, is to hold the mill levy. That is our priority. So far, the past 2 years, we've held the mill levy. This year in 2020, and we'll continue to do so. And staff understands the sacrifices that have to be made to do that. So we're doing our part for the citizens of Coffeyville, and that's the right thing to do. And it follows your leadership.
I know we get the official county assessment number, I believe, in August.
Well, we'll get the official valuation, it'll be around the 1st of June.
So we'll have an
right in
idea.
that area, and then we'll take that, and then we'll work the budget
Right.
throughout June, and then in July, we start going, and I think the commission likes the process of the funding process being during budget.
Yep.
I think it is, and you can talk more and as far as to the applicants, and it does help us.
So will we
Sets
be-
us.
Will we be sending notification to the applicants?
Yes,
that
we'll
exist
send
now?
that.
Yeah.
It'll put out, of course, we'll put, like we've done on our website, we'll put something out this. We'll make those available June 1st.
Okay.
And we have the addresses of last year's applicants. So we'll send them a notice, but that way they can see it, and pick up on it if there's an organization that wishes to submit.
Very good.
Great.
Okay.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else? Okay. If not, I move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion is made by Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Vice Mayor Doan to adjourn. Can I see a show of hands? Thank you.